Let's remake 5 of his most iconic posters and see what we'd end up with. No, we're not starting with the Odyssey. I know, patience. We'll get there. First up, Interstellar. Okay, isn't Buzz Lightyear pretty much an animated version of Matthew McConaughey? Anyhow, they're both willing to sacrifice themselves for a kid, they're both obsessed with space, and they've both got a pretty chin. First things first, I dropped Buzz onto the canvas. For the background, I went with footage of a sandbox. I mean, tell me that doesn't look like outer space. Then I used generative fill to clean up the background. Got rid of the toys, the shovels, all that stuff. You know, just so I could add the really precious commodities like Woody's hat and boot, Rex, one of the aliens, and Mr. Potato Head, of course. Now I just need to make all this stuff actually feel like it belongs together. First, I buried the bottoms of the toys in the sand. And finally, I grabbed a textured brush to paint in some dirt and sand, plus a few extra shadows wherever they were needed. The kind of detail nobody will consciously notice, and the kind I will absolutely lose sleep over if it's missing. One thing you can't miss on the Interstellar poster, besides McConaughey, is the dust storm. Luckily, that works perfectly here too, because we're literally in a sandbox. And what I have next? The colors. I needed those cold, muted tones from the original poster. I brightened up the sky with a gradient, then added a blue one over Buzz so he'd blend into the scene better. It also makes it feel like the wind's blowing right at him. Doesn't matter what the movie's called, or what font I use, or if I perfectly match the sand texture. As long as Nolan's name is on it, you make $1 billion. Likes, I mean. Although, the text is actually gonna make me suffer later, but we'll get to that. Let's keep moving. We've still got 4 more to go, and the last one's actually pretty special. Only the real Nolan fans are gonna get it. But first, Oppenheimer. Normally people pair this movie with Barbie. Not today. Today it's Big Hero 6. Why this combo? Because in both stories you've got a genius inventor who creates something he probably shouldn't have created in the first place. For the background, I used a shot of the city where Big Hero 6 takes place, San Francisco, a fictional futuristic mashup of San Francisco and Tokyo. I only added the city so I could throw a nice little sunset behind it. A very radioactive looking sunset. So, Baymax is the nuke now. I gave him an orange gradient and matched the lighting on his body to the original poster. Nobody smiles in Nolan movies, so Hero couldn't either. I swapped his face for one with a much more serious expression. Then I spread the microbots all across the canvas. They're basically standing in for all those glowing particles from the original poster. I recolored every single one to orange, then blurred them so they'd blend into the scene. I also added some little fire elements around the microbots, and yep, blurred those too. For the final touch, I merged everything together and added one last color grade, somewhere between golden hour and global emergency. The whole invention falls into the wrong hands trope never gets old. Let's just hope it stays a fictional one. Let's finally address the elephant in an IMAX theater, the Odyssey. I could have chose Simpsons for this occasion, but this ain't supposed to be an easy journey, right? So I chose another legend. Spongebob. And I think this casting makes more sense than some of the actors Nolan picked to play ancient geeks. Don't want to spoil the story, but I mean, Homer already did that like 2,800 years ago. At the end of the day, they're both basically giant adventures at sea. For the background, I'm using a nighttime shot of Bikini Bottom. There's even a ship at the top of the frame. Perfect Odyssey reference, which I'm immediately gonna crop out, because this isn't IMAX, alright? Okay, the ship's coming back. You can't really do the Odyssey without one. Considering how the original ships ended up, a ghost ship kinda makes sense. The original poster has that iconic ancient Greek helmet right in the middle, so naturally, I gave SpongeBob a pirate hat. Close enough, both sit on a head. Going back to the original poster, it's mostly cold blue tones, so I pushed both the Flying Dutchman's ship and the background toward those cooler colors too. Then I figured I'd add a little fog, because, well, it's literally a ghost ship in SpongeBob, so I threw in a couple of gradients and a soft glow effect. The original helmet has this huge golden crest on top. Naturally, I used a seashell instead. And that's the final result. Now let's look at it, the way Nolan intended. Alright, time for the second to last poster, The Dark Knight. For this one, I picked Scooby-Doo, because when you think about it, they're both mystery stories. Plus, you've got people running around in masks the entire time. Next, I added this white fabric banner. Played around with the perspective a little, so it actually looks like it's hanging off the building. Then I threw the classic Scooby-Doo Where Are You slogan on it. On the original Dark Knight poster, the fire forms the Batman logo. Now, that's not exactly realistic, but what I can do is recreate all the light from those flames hitting everything around them. A few cuts, stains, and extra shadows on the banner make the whole thing feel way grotesque. Then I threw on one last gradient to darken the background and give everything that gross, sickly green tint. I couldn't find anything online that looked close enough to the Dark Knight font, so I ended up building the title by hand, with a little help from pretty much every Photoshop tool I own. And here's the final result. Hopefully this one isn't emotionally devastating, unlike the actual movie. Welp, Heath Ledger would have been great as Shaggy, no jokes. And finally, the last poster. For the real Nolan fans, Memento. You know, the movie about a guy who can't remember anything, and so it goes backwards, or forwards, doesn't matter. For this one, I went with Finding Dory. The original poster is actually a really cool concept. It's made entirely out of Polaroids, so I swapped those photos out for the fishy characters. But just dropping the characters in wasn't enough. They kind of disappeared in the overall composition, so I gave every Polaroid its own background to make them feel like actual photos. Then I color graded each one separately to match the original poster's warm, sepia brown look. After that, a few little text shenanigans, the kind that exist mostly as visual texture, filling corners so the composition doesn't feel empty. Not that anyone's actually gonna read any of it, but hey, it's there. Let me know which one was your favorite, and don't forget to tell everyone in the comments that Nolan's a genius. And also watch this!